Hi guys, Alf here from ADHD Games. I'm just going to go through a quick tutorial on how to integrate the temperature component with Easy Survival RPG version 4. This is a clean version 4 project, and I've just added in the temperature component into the project. So first off, we're going to go to the blueprints, characters, base, and open up the character player. And then once we're in the character player blueprint, we're going to go over to the class settings, and we're going to add two interfaces. The first one is the BPI temperature, and we're also going to add the BPI temperature player. Compile and save those. Next thing we're going to do is come over and we're going to add the temp BP temp component. Compile and save that. Okay. So now that we've got all of those in there, we're going to come back out into the content browser, get a new one, and we're going to go to the temperature component, starter content, third person BP, blueprint, and we're going to open up the third person character blueprint that comes with the temperature component. Okay, so now that we're in here, you can see there's an step-by-step integration method here, but that's because we're doing ESRPG, there's a few different steps, so don't worry about that. We'll just go with what's in the video here. What we want to do is grab all of these update temp variation interface events and copy them over to the character player BP. So we'll copy them, pop them straight into the event graph here, compile and save. And then we're also going to grab this decrease health interface event, grab the whole thing, but then we need to deselect the last function there, the change health, because we've already got that functionality in the character player BP. So we'll just grab everything else apart from that, copy and paste that in, and it'll come up with this little box here. You want to just have do nothing and confirm, and then you want to right click and just refresh the nodes, and that should fix any of the errors that came up. And then off the end here, we want to drag out and then just type in change health, and that's the function that we want there from the character base. So pop that value in, compile and save that. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is we want to come over here into the My Blueprint, and under here under interfaces here, we want to come into the temperature ones, and the first one we want to look at is under variations. We want to see get current temp variations, and what we can do is go back to the third person character and find the same one, because we can just copy them straight over. So in here we can just grab these ones here, copy and paste, and then just plug them all in. Compile and save. The next one we want to find is under values. We want the get current temperature values, and again we can do the same thing. We can just go into here and find that one as well, then copy and paste them in, plug those ones in, compile and save. And then the last one we want is down in the, I think it's under the player and health, we want this get max health BPI. Open that up, and then you just want to find, you can just type in get max health, and you want to just plug that variable in there. compile and save. Now that's pretty much the basic setup, so once that's done we could test this. We can test it as a client, press play, single player, new game, random, start game, and we should come up with the temperature component here on the right hand side. There we go. Okay, so that's all working. So what we'll do now is get it working better with the ESRPG. First thing we want to do is set up the logic behind all the equipping of clothes and armor. So back into our content browser, we want to head over to the blueprints and we want to go to the data tables, gameplay tags, and we want to open up this DT gameplay tags attributes. So once we open that one up, come down to the bottom, we can just grab the bottom one and duplicate it. Take all of this off here, and so we want to go equipment dot temp variation dot, and we'll go head, and then we can copy that, pop that in there. So then we just need to do another 4 of these. Okay. And so we're going to go to body, next one will be legs, oh. Next one we want hands, and the last one here we want as feet. Okay, save that. Then we want to go into the data tables and we want to do the DT attributes. Open that one up. Again, head down to the bottom and we can duplicate that one. Paste in what we had before. Select the equipment, temp variation, and we'll go with head. So we'll call this so temp variation head, and then we just want to put something in here really quickly, like let's say, let's go with value head part adds to max / min temperature range. You can put anything you like in here. I just thought that sort of explains it pretty well. So then we can duplicate that another 4 times, and then we can just edit it again. So we want body, and this will be body. Legs, I forgot to change that, didn't I? Okay, hands. Almost there. Sorry to put you guys through this. Hands. And last but not least, feet. And of course, I forgot to change that. No, I didn't. Perfect. So head, body, legs, hands, and feet. Perfect. So once we've got those set up, we want to head back into our character player, and in here we want to look for a function called update state settings, that one there. Alright, so basically this fires whenever, oh, can't actually remember when it fires, I think it fires on tick. But what we want to do is duplicate one of these and hook that up, and then we want to head to our equipment temperature variation, and let's start with the head. Duplicate it again so that we've got all 5. We'll just plug these ones in. Okay, so we've got head, body, legs, hands, and feet. There we go. Now, over here we want to grab our temp component. Oh, we've got 2, have we? Let me delete that one. Okay, there we go. So bring that one in, and we want to pull out of here, and we want to call the update temp variation, and we want to look for the body parts interface call. That one there. And so I'm going to pop that in there, pop that there, and then we're just going to plug all these in. So head, body, legs, hands, and feet. Compile and save that. Now that should be it for all that setup. So what we can do now is we can go to, let's see, the DT items, and in here let's have a look at, if we go not hat, if we do head, equipment head. Alright, so what we can do is, this is the standard hat that you get. If we scroll down into equipment attributes, we can add one, and under the gameplay tag we're going to look for attributes, equipment, temperature variation, and head, and then we can give it a value so that when your player equips a hat, it can give them, let's say, an extra 5 degrees on the maximum range that they're able to withstand. If we go to, say, body, then we can do the same thing. We can add one for the body, and this time let's see, we can give them a bit more. Let's say we give them an extra 20 so that they can withstand more heat. And we'll do just one more so you can see work. We'll go with pants, and this time with legs we'll give them an extra 10 the opposite way. Okay, so that's all of that done. Now, before we test, let's just get the UI sorted so that we can actually see what's going on. So, what we can do is head over to the user interface for ESRPG, open up HUD, and we'll open up this UI HUD here. Okay, so I might just close a few things. Oops. Close that one down so we can see what we're doing. And then under here, let's go to user created. I'm going to scroll all the way down until you see the UI temperature gauge. That's the one that we want there. So if you drag that one into the canvas panel, click on it, and you want to size to content, and click to the bottom there, and then you can just sort of drag it down and pop it there. So compile, save that. Then what we want to do is in the graph here, we will go over to, now what you can do is come back over to the temperature component folders, and under blueprints, user interface, if you open up the UI HUD here, got that same thing here. What you can do is come into the graph here, and I've got this function, this update temperature function. What you want to do is just here in the left hand side here, you can copy it, then go into the ESRPG HUD and paste it into here. Compile and save, and that just brings all that functionality over. And then you can find the update tick event just here, and you can drag the update temperature into there, and that should take care of that. And then what we do want to do is then come over to our temperature component blueprints and our temperature component, open that one up, and in our event graph here, we just come all the way to the top left here. Under begin play, you just want to disconnect the create HUD, because we don't want the temperature component creating the HUD anymore. Oh, one thing I forgot as well, if you come over to the ESRPG UI HUD, we want to get the temperature gauge, and we want to bind the visibility to the same as the character state visibility. So bind character state visibility, so it acts the same way. Compile and save that. Okay, so let's head over to the ESRPG maps. We'll go into the let's just go single player, just so we can set this up quickly. Okay. Now what we can do is, if we head over to back over to the temperature component, under volumes, we have our 3 volumes here. I'm going to grab this temperature volume world and drag that in, and then over here in the settings we can just give it a bit of room so our player can walk into it, and then clicking debug will just keep the box visible so we can see it in game, so we know when we're walking in and out of it. And the world temperature variation, what this does is basically the standard temperature I've set for 25 degrees. So if we add 10 to that, then hopefully when we walk into this volume, it'll add 10 to the normal or the current temperature. So it would be 35 degrees, not 25. And if we then just hit play, we should actually be able to see it working straight away. So there we go, we're popped in, you can see that our temperature gauge is set to 25, and then as we walk into that volume, up it goes to 35. Then as we walk out of it, it should drop back down again. What we can do now is, let's just see if we can make some clothes. We can't on this. Let's craft one of these quickly. So let's just craft one of those. We'll craft a basic hat as well. And I think the pants were the other one we did. And so while that's going, you can see here in our temperature gauge that the standard maximum and minimum range is set to 32 and 18. So anything above 32 and the player will start taking damage, and anything below 18 degrees the player will start taking damage. So now if we grab our jacket and pop our jacket on, you'll see that now the maximum range is up to 52. So now the player can withstand more heat. Popping the pants on, we can now go down to 8 degrees. And if we pop our hat on as well, we can now go up to 57. And so equipping and unequipping the armor and clothes should change that maximum range. Okay, so looking at the volumes, that's the world volume. The last one that I'll show you as well in this tutorial, because I don't want it to go on for too much longer, is the fire one. And so what we can do is head over to the ESRPG blueprints, interaction objects, building objects, and placeables. And let's open up the campfire. So what we can do in our campfire here, okay, what we want to do is we want to get that the fire volume into the campfire. So if you grab and hold it and bring it into the campfire and just drop it on there, that will bring one of those in here. And over on the right hand side here, we can actually go into the child actor template and we can play with the settings. So what we've got is the radius. Let's give it a radius of 600, and so basically 600 around the campfire is where that where the player will be affected by the temperature. You want to leave is active to unchecked for the moment, and then the fire temperature variation, let's bump it up to say 100, and we'll debug it as well. Compile and save. Now, to actually get this working, what we want to do is find the update turned on function, head to the end here, and we drag out the fire volume. We want to say get child actor. We're going to cast to the BP temperature volume fire, and we can make that a pure cast because we know it's only going to be that one. And then from there we want to set is active, duplicate that one, and so when it is active we want to choose yes, and when it is not active we want to choose no. Compile, save that, and now you'll notice that in the single player map we've already got a campfire there, and you can see that sphere radius. So if we go ahead and play, So what you see is we've got that radius there for the campfire, and at the moment it's not affecting our player, but if we head over here and turn it on, you can see that the temperature's now gone up to 31. Now I've set the fire volumes up so that the closer you get to the center of the volume, the hotter the temperature, so you can get quite hot or a bit cooler. And then if we turn it off, then it doesn't affect the player. Now the other thing is that when you're in a temperature volume, you can also turn on the campfire, and that will add to the temperature as well. So now we're at 41, and then if we get closer, it'll jump up, and you can see that it is affecting our health as well. And that the higher or the more above the maximum temperature range that the current temperature is, the more damage the player will take. Okay, so we turn it off, and that's basically it. So what we can do is I was going to show multiplayer, but it all works in multiplayer. You can test that out for yourself. If you have any problems, please head over to our Discord server and post any questions in the temperature component channel. Happy to answer any questions you guys have got. There's a whole bunch more that you can do with this in the temperature component itself. There's functionality for things like when you're updating the temperature, you've got all these different variations. So if you've got a day and night system, when it turns day and when it turns night, you can have the temperature change. The water temperature variation is a really good one that I think a lot of you guys would like. I'll show you if you go over to my Discord channel, you'll see some other tutorials. I've got one for integrating with UDS and ultradynamic weather, and I've also got a demo video of the temperature component itself, and you can see all the features in there. Sorry for rambling. I hope the tutorial was clear, and hit me up in Discord if you have any questions. Thanks guys.